So we are going to study the course called Palo Firewall Administration. And today is our first day session. In the first day session, we will study about the introduction to Palo.
Sir, sorry to cut you here.
Yeah.
One thing I want to clarify from my side before we are moving to further, the process. So, a laptop which I have that is very old dated, and I have already tried to install the Palo Alto, the OVG file to install in my VMware. Even I have already created a Palo Alto, one machine in my system. But whenever I'm going to start it, my system, it's not performing well. Actually, it's got stuck, and even sometimes I feel very.
Okay, understood.
So what I do for next, because if you please provide me some resource, I mean, is there any another way to practice those things? Because not only critical thing will be helpful. Yes.
To set up the lab for you, you require at least minimum 8 GB RAM. Yeah, 8 GB RAM is required. And you need to have like an
8 GB RAM.
Yeah, 8 GB RAM is required.
Just need to check my system information.
Okay.
I have a total 8 GB physical RAM. And
we'll try to set up, we will see. Because we will set up the lab once again, or maybe tomorrow itself we'll try to set up the lab, okay?
No problem.
Yeah.
Once we are going to do that, I will let you know.
Sure, yeah. So when you are going for introduction to Palo Alto, Palo Alto is one of the multinational cybersecurity organization. Palo Alto is one of the multinational cybersecurity organization as well. So they manufacture different types of the next generation firewalls. They manufacture different types of the next generation firewalls. And these firewalls are widely being deployed in a small scaled organizations, enterprise level, data center, and in the cloud. So any type of IT organization, okay, the Palo Alto firewalls are suitable. So Palo Alto firewall, actually, the founder for the Palo Alto firewall is Dan Erjuk. So he was a ex-employee of Checkpoint, and he developed the new operating system known for the Pan OS. So Palo Alto firewalls, they use the operating system called Pan OS actually. And he started this Palo Alto organization he started the organization from 2005. And their main headquarters are there in a place called Palo Alto in California. And it is in United States of America. Their headquarters are there in the USA. So specifically Palo Alto and the Checkpoint, they are the Israel-based products. Palo Alto is an Israel-based products. So since they are Israel-based products, personally, the security administrators know what we believe is most of the IT organizations, like private organizations, they trust Israel products. But for the government sectors, like for example, take India. Take India. Now in India we have the we have the Aadhaar card, we have the voter list, we have like banking sectors are there that are maintained by the government, RBI. So we have like so much information, so much data is there. So this data also like government also they must secure their no their information or their data. So since the governments are like countries are not trusting Israel in previous in Western years, so mostly Palo Alto firewall was not known. But from last 10 years in the market, because most of the even the Gulf countries, Middle East, they have a trusting, they have a good trust with the countries like nowadays like Israel. So then they started having their footprints. Means they started selling their licenses and their devices throughout the throughout the private sectors as well as the public sector. So from last 10 years to from last 12 to 15 years actually, one of the best leading in the market is Palo Alto Firewall. Okay. So you see, for example, maybe
Okay, sir.
you are working in your office, you are working in your job, you are so good at Palo Alto Firewall in your team. So there is another guy, he likes like Cisco Firepower. There is a Juniper, there is a like Fortinet, so forth. Like there are so many firewall vendors are there. So maybe for a one project, you suggested that you need to have a Palo Alto. But other guy, one who likes firepower, he says, let us use Cisco firepower. But the guy, other one who likes checkpoint, he says checkpoint is the best. So we have like to provide any security for if you want to implement, because always mostly we use the firewalls to provide different types of the network security or cyber security for an organization provide all type of threats. So like we have different types of the international standards like ISO, we call international standard for organization, you know it. And also we have like an ANSI and also we have an IFA. So from the ISO, like we have different SIP and sub bodies of Information Security Management System, ISMS. So ISMS actually speaks that if you want to provide a good security for an organization, we need to implement three things. Like physical control, we have a physical control, we have something called logical control. Okay, we have logical control. There is also like a technical control actually. We can say the technical control. Then again, we have any legal control. Legal control. So as a technical administrator, like as a we are the technical professional people. So the security administrators need to take care of the physical control as well as the technical control. We don't do anything with the legal control. I will tell you. Like ISMS, also we have some uh, the domains that are working for the ISO. We have a Gartner, like we have IDC, we have a Gartner, we have different types of the international standards they are. So if you see the Gartner reports of for firewall comparison, okay, firewall comparisons, yeah. So if you see, we have a Gartner.com domain. So they see different types of the reviews, in last 12 months, or even you can see them in 1 year. We can change them. We can change them in your review by industry like IT services, because we're not concentrating on the banking. Okay. So we see like we have like a checkpoint, like 4.7 reviews are been available. For Fortnite, like 4.6. Very good. So first, we have 4.8. We have Cisco firewall. Then we have a Palo Alto firewall. You see, personally speaking, the Palo Alto firewall, the licenses are very costly comparing with any another firewall because we have some threat prevention license, URL filtering license, global protect license. For every services to work, we have different types of the licenses are there. So these licenses are very costly comparing with Fortinet and so forth and so on. So most of all IT organizations nowadays has an edge firewall and also has to connect into their edge network to the service provider and the WAN edge networks. They deploy the Palo Alto firewall. And already I'm sure that you're working on the Palo Alto. So even if you're going to like a changing a job change, or even if you're going for like a if you're going for like some 3 to 4 to 5 years of experience, if you have in IT, you know, all the administrators nowadays, there is a I mean, there is a need to know knowledge on the next generation firewalls as well. So good that the Palo Alto firewall actually started their different types of the certifications. We have the Palo Alto PALO, we have a Palo Alto certifications, we have it. So Palo Alto certifications, like before, we have like an PCNSA, we have PCNSA, and again we have an PCNSE. So this PCNSA and PCNSE has been deprived. In the sense, like last just maybe some 6 months, like before, 6 months, this PCNS and PCNSE, the certifications actually they have removed it. But presently, we have different types of the certification career path or certification path. You see, Palo Alto certifications. So when you're going for your Palo Alto, different types of certifications, certification portfolio, very good. Like we are going for we are going to be in a network security actually. We can also do security operations. Also, we have a cloud security. So when you are going for like network security, we have like a foundational cyber security, cyber security practitioner is there. We have a network security professional. Again, we have in the specialist, we are going to study the next generation firewall engineer it is. So this includes something like your PCNSA and PCNSE. Next gen, you speak Telugu?
No,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
I can understand Hindi.
Okay. No, I don't speak Hindi actually.
Okay.
Okay, no issue. So when you're going for like your next generation firewall, you see, so the target audience means who could study this, individuals who want to demonstrate technical knowledge and skills on PAN OS. So the PAN OS networking, like what is PAN OS networking? Because the Palo Alto firewall, their interfaces are configured in different methods. Like we have layer 2, layer 3, virtual wire, app mode, Then the device, that is the main. So device configuration, updating the licenses, working with the device administration we have, and integration with automation and network security environment. So for this next generation
sir, here I have a question.
please,
Sorry for the interruption.
yes.
Here I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, sir, my job role is to be as in the Palo Alto IoT security and the OT security. So even I don't have any previous experience in Palo Alto. So I thought better need to go to direct into the IoT security or OT security. I have to be gain some knowledge in Palo Alto firewall first.
Correct.
Yes. So could you please tell me in a very short way? I mean, just is there any concept related in this course where I can get some overview on IoT or OT security, sir?
Yeah, see, uh,
Yes.
when you start understanding about the firewall
Hmm.
administration part, then the
Okay.
firewall will be integrating with different types of the. We have like a custom root configurations that where you can add different types of the other network devices, other devices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like different types of the access control systems can be it can be monitored. Like we have different types of the custom root config with the custom root configurations, the service root
Okay.
configurations. Then you can monitor even your IoT devices also.
Yes, yes, that is actually my basic goal. I mean, obviously, I have to be gain knowledge about the Palo Alto firewall,
Mm,
but ultimately, my job I'll have to perform on the IoT
correct.
module or IoT console, basically. And even the Strata Cloud that has been already started into the Palo Alto with the Palo Alto integration.
Okay. So that is
Organization also are using the Strata Cloud.
mm.
Yes.
So then we'll set up. No one we need to install, as I said, instead of Java file, they require
Okay.
like more space. Instead of that, in your VMware, we
Okay.
install our Eve server. As then we will try to power on your Eve server. You know, we try to access your Eve server. Then we make a lab. Then we'll be having hands on that. So anyway, yeah. So we'll be
Got it.
concentrating on the next generation firewall engineer. So once you complete this certification, actually this
Mhm.
for next every certification is valid for 2 year, and it's has some nearly some 295 USD dollar actually. So the people, once you have studied with the next generation firewall, if you're going for like moving to the SD-WAN networking in Palo Alto, we have the SD-WAN solutions. Again, we have cloud security, like we have different types of the uh, certifications on the trainings are provided by Palo Alto Firewall actually. And every certificate, I mean, actually, these certifications are being conducted in Pearson V Testing Center. And to prepare for these exams, you need to have the dumps. Once you prepare the dumps, easily you can clear the exam. So, according to the Gartner reports, like one of the best leading in the market, actually, it is Palo Alto Firewall. And the main innovations in Palo Alto Firewall. So, innovations in, you can say, the Palo Alto Firewall are three things. Like we have a content ID, we have a content ID, again we have an app ID, also we have a user ID, and also we have a device ID. There are device IDs being added from the PAN 10. No, actually we use the PAM PAN Palo Alto operating system name. It's a PAN OS. So in PAN OS also we have different types of versions we have. Like we have a PAN OS 8, PAN OS 10, then 11. So from PAN OS 10 onwards, we have a new innovation of device ID has been added, which is not available in the old edition PAN OS 8 actually. Okay. Now when you're going for, before I explain this, also you need to know we have like a network. A network is an interconnection of devices. You know it. As a network engineer, we see in your LAN network that most of all hosts are being connected to switches. Like all these are the hosts or the computers are connected to a device called switch. And of course, you know that there are like multiple switches are there. Like we'll be having access layer switches connecting to the distribution. Distributions are connected to the core switch, but all switches they do switching, like VLAN, VTP, trunking, STP, Ether channel, inter VLAN routing. So all those things are done in the switching. Now, all your hosts are being connected to your next generation firewall. That is your NGFW. Okay, that is your next generation firewall. That's your paloalto. So your LAN is connected to the firewall as well. The switch is going to be connected to the firewall. So you need to have some physical interfaces. Of course, you're going to connect Ethernet one by one. Ethernet one by one as well. Ethernet one by one. Again, you'll be having take for example, in your network, you'll be having like different types of the physical servers. You'll be having like web server, you'll be having database server, you'll be having, uh, production server, like email servers are there, file servers will be there, application servers, FTP server, speed server, proxy servers, like so many servers will be available in your on-premises. So when you have servers are there, normally servers we don't keep them in your host where they are connected. They'll be placed in a separate zone, separate network, and specifically that network we call them as a DMZ, demilitarized zone, where our hosts are being connected. We make that as a zone name called inside, because next generation firewalls are the zone based firewall. So Palo Alto is being as a next generation firewall is a zone based firewall. We need to create different types of the security zones. A zone called inside, a zone name called DMZ. And if your organization is just a startup company, directly it is going to be connected to your ISP. Your firewall is directly connected to your ISP. But when you have like some branches, if you have like any branches are there, your branch should connect with another branches for doing routing and so on. Then you'll place a gateway, that's a router. Your router is connected to your firewall, then the router is connected to your ISP router. When your firewall is connected to your ISP, this particular network, you create a particular zone called outside. We create a zone name called outside. So this zone name is DMZ, this zone name is inside, and this zone name is outside. So commonly you see this zone information like inside, outside, DMZ. Sometimes you may have internal, external, and DMZ. You may have in and out, or you have a trusted, untrusted. So firewall is next generation firewalls are the zone-based firewalls. We create these different types of the zones, and we create different types of these security zones, and we place the firewalls between the trusted network and the untrusted network. So whenever any packet is going from inside to DMZ, inside to outside, outside to inside, outside to DMZ. So firewall is deeply inspecting the packet based on the content ID, based on the app ID, based on the user ID, and based on the device ID actually. Not all firewalls do support device ID. Not all firewalls, like how Palo Alto filters the application identification. App ID means application identification, yeah. So how it is, inspecting the applications based on their technologies. So like we have it as technologies, we have the category, subcategory, risk level. Then it has the technology which is used, like end-to-end user, or client to server, server to client, point to point. No, we have that some technologies are being used for detecting the applications. So the application behavior completely is inspected by Palo Alto firewall. Okay, so understand Palo Alto firewall is the next generation firewall. It is placed between your between your trusted and untrusted network. Now, so by default in Palo Alto firewall or any next generation firewall, there will be two different security policies. We have the two different security policies are there. We'll be having something called intrazone. Then again, we have a intrazone. So when you're going for like an intrazone, by default, the traffic within the intrazone is permitted, or it is allowed. Whereas the intrazone, the traffic from between the zones is denied. So traffic intrazone means traffic within the inside zone is permitted. So firewall will permit a host should communicate with firewall. A firewall can communicate with the host, but firewall will not permit any traffic from inside to outside, inside to DMZ, because that is under the interzone. Interzone means traffic between the zone. By default, it is denied. So you need to create a security policies. Based on the security policies, then the firewall will permit either from inside to outside or DMZ to outside as well.
So, sir, interzone means those who are trying to connect from outside to inside into outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is called interzone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interzone, traffic between the zones. When you're going for no.
Traffic between interzone. Okay.
It is a traffic between the zones. Then when you're going for like an intrazone, it is a traffic within the zone. You see, you take any file, these two policies will be there, intrazone and intrazone. Okay, then as administrator, you created a policy to go from inside to outside. Again, from outside, if any type of virus, if any malware, if any Trojan, ransomware, if anything is coming up, the content ID characteristics or content ID features in Palo Alto firewall. They deeply inspect the packets for any type of malware that is known protocols like STP, FTP, SMTP, POP3, IMAP. That is just only for antivirus security profile we call. Just only one profile is inspecting all the well-known protocols as well. So you can stop like different types of the file blocking. You can block some URL categories like URL filtering is there. What URL filtering will do? No, the URL filtering will scan for the URLs that carry different types of the exploits. There are some dangerous websites are there. They carry an exploit. If you visit that particular website, that's it. Your devices will be compromised. So those type of URLs, URL filtering, file blocking, data filtering, like antivirus security profile, anti-spyware security profile, DOS protection, like we have something called wildfire analysis. All those things comes under the content ID to work. And specifically, they are used to just avoid the malware. Then we have the application identity, application identification. It is deeply inspecting the different types of the web applications as well as the system applications. Later, we'll be integrating your LDAP server. Like we will be having a Windows servers will be integrated with firewall. Whenever you create any user accounts in your whenever you are creating the user accounts in your server, the users are there in firewall actually. You can create a different types of the security policies based on the users also. It's not so Palo Alto firewall is not only inspecting the packets based on the IP address, not only based on the username, based on the applications also. Even based on the device name, device ID, means every device will have its own computer names. You can create a security rule even for the name of the computer. So this user, either he can be in your on-premises, or maybe this user is working remotely, connected to your office by using VPN, by using Global Protect, and still the firewall can inspect the packets of the users of the LAN or WAN based on the host name, based on their uh, based on their device name actually. Nowadays, even the employees becomes, they are very clever enough. Sometimes they can, no, when see, when your computers are like in work group, actually, you see, if you right click on your PC, whenever you install your Windows machines, actually, you know, the computers actually it will be in work group, the Windows machines. So work group computers, the users actually they can install the application, they can do whatever they want. But when they're part of the domain, every IT organization, so they will have a domain network. So in the domain network, these users, they cannot even change the date and time. They cannot even change the IP address, nothing. They cannot do anything. Restrictions will be there. So there is some sales team or there is a market people, they are not part of our domain. They are non-IT, but still their data must be secured. So these people, like what they do, they may install some applications. You denied some websites, but still they are using some proxies to connect them. You know, even if it is being, even if the proxies also can be detected by the paloalto firewall. So there is a chance that these users, they can change their IP addresses. For example, you created a rule based on the IP address. What about these people if they try to do some changing the IP addresses? Then it is permitted. But you can create a rule that you can create a rule based on their device name. Device name means their computer names. So easily they may not change their computer names, you know. So then our policies are affecting them as well. So based on your requirement, you can apply different types of these security policies. So these are the main important thing, innovations in our Palo Alto firewall. So once you power on your use server, you get the IP address 238, 230, you know, you will try to access this server by using like HTTP colon 2/192.168 230 230.128. Username is admin, password is E. I had some lab before that. I can make use of this lab itself. Just I can right click and start. You see, like what I explained here, I did for you. We have inside, we have a DMZ, just we have a outside zone. They have some addressing systems are been given. So I will explain you this next classes. Don't worry. Okay. When you start firewall will be loading. Firewall will boot up. You get a IP address. You try to access this device, and we are going to have hands on the device actually. I will try to set up for you, Kunal, later. Okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow itself.
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll try to set up.
Sure, sure.
So that is for our introduction part for the Palo Alto course, and you will
Sir,
start.
one thing I would like to understand,
Mm,
like you have said, the Palo Alto are basically focusing on these four parts: content
mm,
ID, app ID,
mm,
user ID, and
mm,
device ID.
mm,
Suppose anyone can change their own IP address so
mm,
that they can easily do into any other task what
mm.
they have not assigned to that particular work, right?
Okay,
So,
that's
so based on that, can create. So based on that, we can create. I mean, I'm just reminding myself for my general
yes,
understanding.
yes,
Like, so based on that, we can create a device ID policy. I mean, we
exactly.
can create a
Correct.
policy which is content on the device, so
Ex-
that whether if he or I mean he if that particular system will try to change the IP address, they may not able to access to the particular services, even if they have changed their IP address
IP,
as well, right?
even
Because
if
of
they're
that
using some proxies, all that, because we created the security policy based on their device names. Yes.
device name, because they may not able to change their device name, so that's why they wouldn't do
Added this.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right.
Okay.
Got it.